Okay, so hopefully you can hear me. And we're gonna start with 58. Sorry. All right, so this one's pretty straightforward. I can get my tablet. You can just set up a portion here, right? She completed 24 pages. This is 30% of the pages in the workbook. How many total? Well, we can set up a portion, right? So percent over 100. We know that 30% is equivalent to 24 pages, and we want the total, right? This is the missing part. So we can cross multiply. That's one way. I mean, because these numbers are nice numbers, I could have simplified the 30 and the 100, and I can have written 24 over x. Instead of 30 over 100, I can write 3 over 10. Now, I can again cross multiply, or you can simply find the relationship, right? How does 3 become 24? It's times 8. So this would be times 8 as well. So x, the total number of pages, would be 8. If you chose to cross multiply, that's okay too, not a big deal. Okay. What's next? 59. 59 is just, again, straightforward. We do plus 35, and again, just so you guys, z over 3 equals, what is that? Negative 10 plus 35 is 25. Oh, so let me write the z in a different way. Here's z, and then z equals 75, right? Because you can multiply this side by 3, and multiply this side by 3, or you can cross multiply. Either way, you get the answer. This one, by now, I hope that you can sort of see that this is, for me, it's a Venn diagram problem. I mean, I don't know if there's an easier method that you're more comfortable with, you can. So here's my Venn diagram. I'm talking about the drama club, and I'm talking about the step team. So drama, all right, drama over here. All right, step. I need to fill in these 4 parts here. The people who do only drama, the people who do drama and step would be the intersection, the people who do only step, and then the people who are outside who don't do anything. So it's usually easier if you start with the ones that are straight up. 13 students chose with like 9 there, so that's obviously here. That I can do right away. 14 students like both, that one's another one I can do right away. Now this, I'm gonna use, this piece of information I'm gonna use. Now if you look at my drama circle, I'm missing this number right here, right? But I already have 14 people who do drama, and it says there's a total of 34 people who do drama. So since there's already 14 in there, well, 34 minus 14, that means that this number is 20. You can double check. If you look at your drama circle, you should have 34 kids, and you do have, right? Because your drama circle is composed of these 2 parts. Likewise, in the step, you need a total of 27. Well, you already have 14 in there, so that means this is 13, because 14 and 13 is 27. Now, what was the question? The question is, let's just try to remember what the question is. The question is, how many students were surveyed? So, how many students were surveyed would be the sum of 20 plus 14 plus 13, and then plus 13 again. So we have 6, 10, carry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 60 students were surveyed. Okay. Moving on. Next one I assigned was 58, 59, 60, 60. Did I do 60? Yeah, I did just do 60. 62. 62 is this angle one, okay. Oh, we want angle x. So, again, it says that this is an isosceles triangle, so this and this are the same, which means this angle over here is the same as this angle over here. So if that's 113, right, this angle NPM is plus 113 should be 180. So if you do 180 minus 113, 7 minus 1, so this is 67 degrees, which means this fell over here is 67 degrees. Now can we find this angle over here? Let me change colors. Well, this angle over here would be 180 minus 67 minus 67. Okay, 67 is 134, I think. 14, yeah, 134, and we subtract 180 minus 134, 10 and 4 is 6, 7 and 3 is 4, so this angle over here is 46. We're still not done because we want to find angle x. Well, we know this whole thing here, let me change colors so we don't confuse this. Oh, change colors. This whole thing here is 180, and that's made up of the 90 plus the x plus the 46. That all equals 180. 136 plus x, combined like terms, equals 180. We'll subtract 136 from each side. And x is 7 minus 3, 44. So angle x is 44 degrees. 63. Okay, so we have something here. We have a ratio. Yeah, it says that the ratio of flowers to shrubs is 64 to 24. So that's our ratio right now. But they want the ratio to become 24 to 1 shrub. How do we get that? How do we do this? Well, what I would have done, right, is the relationship here going either way, it's 24, right? So to go from here to here is 24, or it's either, so divide by 24 or times 24, depending on the direction that we go. So if we go to the right, it's 24 by 24 gives you 1. And if we go left, 1 times 24 is 24. So what we can do is, right, that's what we don't know. If this is the original ratio, right? So think about it. If that was the original ratio and you increase the number of shrubs from 1 to 24, well, you multiply by 24. So therefore, on the top, you would have also have to multiply by 24. So let's do that. 24 times 12, 8, 4, 24. That gives us 288, if I'm not mistaken. Was that 48, 24? Yeah, 288 would be, this would have been the right ratio, but that's not the answer. The answer says, how many more flowers? Well, we already had 64. Remember, the original number was 64, so how many do we have to add to get to 288? Well, 224, right? Remember, we had 64 there, so if I add this many, that would make these two ratios proportional. Okay. 63, 65. All right, again, just more practice. So we do the distributive problem, we get 24x minus 4x equals negative 10. What is this? We get 20x equals negative 10. So divide by 20 on both sides. X equals negative a half. Right? Because we can simplify. All right, so 65 is done. 67. 7 is a nice question. So right now we know that 3 apples is as much as 4 pears. Now write it as a ratio. Okay. And then we know also that 3 pears equals 2 oranges. Right? How many apples cost as much as 72 oranges? The problem is I don't have a relationship between apples and oranges. Right? I have pears and oranges. So what I'm going to do is use the second ratio, this part right here. Right? So it says 3 pears is the same as 2 oranges. What happens when it's 72 oranges? How many pears would I need? Well, again, you could have put x over here and cross multiply. That's fine. Because the numbers are nice, 2 to 72 is times 36. So over here, it's times 36. which gives us 108. So I need 108 pairs for every 72 oranges. Now, I can use this information and put it over here. 108 pairs is the same thing as 72 oranges, right? So if I know how many apples I need for 108 pairs, then that would be an answer to the question, how many apples do I need for 72 oranges? So again, you can put an X over here, cross multiply. If you don't want to, you can find the relationship. Well, can we find a relationship? Is there anything times 4 that gives you 108? And that would be 27, I believe. 4 times 7 is 28, carry 2, yeah. So therefore the top, it's also 27. So 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 2 is... So I need 81 apples when there's 108 pairs. But 108 pairs is the same thing as 72 oranges. So when I have 81 apples, I will have 72 oranges. And the answer is right here. 67, 68. Oh, on the number line above, we have that the ratio of JK is 2, KL is 2 to 1, and then K to M is 3. So from there to there is 3. So we have a result. And that's 3. So what's the value? Well, first of all, let's find what the distance from J to M is. From J to M, which is -9 to 5, would be -19 to 5 would be 24 units, right? Because the absolute value from -19 to 0 is 19, and 0 to 5 is 5. So we add those. So the distance is 24. What is the value of Km? All right. So let's do this. So the ratio of it's 2 to 1 to 3. And the distance, so I'm going to let me write JK to KL, and this is to KM, and the distance, the total here is 2 plus 1 is 3 plus another 3 is 6, right? So that's the current ratio. Now they're asking us what's the value of Km? Well, when the distance is 24. So if that's 24, what's JK, what's KL, and what's KM, right? Well, again, find your relationship. 6 times 4, so here would be times 4, times 4, times 4. 2 and 4 is 8, 1 and 4 is 4, 3 and 4 is 12. If we add it up, we get 24. So that still doesn't answer my question, because now I'm going to fill it in. So JK is 8. KL is 4, right? And then K to M is 12, but we don't want, no, we're good. We're good. I'm sorry. And K to M, I thought they were asking for LM. So 8 to 4 to 12. So the value of Km is 12. So 68 is F. Hang on a second, guys. Did I do something wrong? JK, yeah. It's 8 KL, and then what is the last one? KM. Apologies, I'm going to take this back. K1 is 2 to 4. 2, 4, hang on a second guys. 2, 4, 1 is 6, and this is 24. Sorry, apologies, this is not correct. So again, let me do something again. J to K is 2. K to L is 1. And then K to M is 3. JK is 2, KL is 1, K to M is 3. Or did they mean L to M? So, give me a second. So we can make a ratio. I just want to double check, guys. This is it's a ratio of 2 to 3 right here, from this stretch here to this stretch, which is K to M. So it's a ratio of 2 to 3. Now, if that gives me a total of 5, and we talked about the negative 19 to 5, it was 24, this is still not coming out. I'm gonna come back to 68 later. I'm missing something here. What am I missing? JK is 2, right? KL is 1. And K to M is 3. I think over here they mean L to M, because this is not working out. So leave this and let me come back to it, okay? Yeah, because that's not. Yeah. 67, 68, 69. Okay, so which one's not orange? Well, this one's hopefully a simpler one. So we have 4 black t-shirts, 3 orange, 5 blue, and you always want the total first, right? So we have 7, we have 12 total. So if you pick one at random, what's the probability that it's not orange? So not orange is the same thing as what's the probability as black or blue, right? It's the same thing as not orange. So the probability of picking a black or blue, there are 4 blacks and 5 blues, so 9 out of 12. You can simplify this, divide by 3, we get 3 over 4. Now, this one I know for sure, multiple choices answers are incorrect, so it's 3/4. 69, now let's go to 70. If 65% of x is 130, what's the value of x? So when it's written like this, instead of doing a proportion, I like to do an equation. So 65% we can write as 0.65 of x, which means of x equals 130. So that would be the equation I would be solving, right? So I would go divide by 0.65 on both sides, and then x equals whatever number that is. Or if you wanted to still keep the proportion, right? We know it's percent 65 of x. I don't know. So this is X. Sorry. That's 100. That's X, and that's 130. Now if you cross multiply this, we get 65X equals 130, not 130, but 1300, and we divide both sides by 65. Notice that this top, this bottom part, and this top is the same thing, except that obviously one you're dealing with decimals and the other one you don't. And just because I can, hang on a second. So we have 130 divided by 0.65, which is just 200. And our answer is 70. Okay. 71. Now 71, I made a mess when I did this. So the mess was, there are three friends. We want the overall range, right? So I need the range, the overall range of the three people who ran this. I know their fastest time, so I need to know what Chrysanthem's slowest time is, Lindsay's slowest time, and Tara's slowest time is. Once I have all those 6 pieces of information, I'm going to take the fastest one, subtract by the slowest time, and that's going to give me my range. Okay, so let's start with Chrysandra. So Cassandra ran the fastest time. Her fastest time was 31 minutes and 16 seconds. Now the range is 437, so that means this is her fastest time. Her slowest, we have to add 4 minutes and 37 seconds. So we're gonna get 13, carry 1, it's a 5. So this is her slowest. Remember, we're running here, right? And when you're running, you want to finish in the least time as possible. Okay, so we're not subtracting 437, we're adding 437. So we already have Cassandra. Let's do Lindsay over here. It's a different color. So Lindsay ran her fastest at 33:02, and then the range was 229. So let's find out what her slowest was. So if we add this, we get 11:3. Her slowest time was 35:31. So this is her fastest time. And then we have Tara. Tara ran pretty fast, 29 minutes and 48 seconds. That was his fastest time. And then we're gonna add 3 minutes and 35 seconds to that. So if we add 4 and 5 is 13, carry 1, 4, 5, 8. The easiest way to do this is to 45, we're gonna add 12, right? So that's gonna give us 0, 0. And we're gonna have, if you subtract 35 minus 12, we have 23 left over. Remember, it's at 60 zeros, right? We're not adding 48 plus 35 and getting us 83. Remember, at 60 we have to zero it out. So and I guess let's show you the whole thing. You see, so here's 29:48. Here's 3:35. From 3:35, I'm gonna take 12 seconds out. So if I subtract 12 seconds, I'm gonna be left with 3 minutes and 23, right? So subtracting 12 seconds and adding it over here, right? That's a 0, that's a 0, and now at 30 minutes, right? Now to that, I'm gonna add 3 minutes and 23 seconds. And her slowest time was 33 minutes and 23 seconds. Now we have everything. So let's look at the slowest. The slowest is 35:53. The fastest is still 29.48. And subtract this, 13 minus 8 is 5. That becomes a 0. Borrow, 15 minus 9 is 6. 605 is the range. So again, we needed to find all three runners' slowest time, then do the overall range. Okay. 73. If Q and R are integers, which of the following equations must Q be positive? So one thing I want to do here, or one thing you have to, or you should do, or maybe, or could do, sorry, is try to prove where the other ones are do not work or work, right? So let me take an example. Let's do this one. Q and R equals 1. So do I need Q to be positive in order for this to be a true? Well, if R is -1, Q has to be -1, right? If R is 1, does Q need to be positive? Yes. I'm not making sense here. Let me see if I can explain this a little better. Hang on. All right, let's try it. Let's go to A. Let's work it out. If R is negative, right, we're going to get 1 positive, and Q, in order for this to be true, right, Q has to be positive. Does that make sense? If it's Q is negative, this equation A will not work. So Q must be positive for equation A to be true, which I guess it's our answer. Okay, let's look at B. Q minus R equals 1. Does Q have to be positive? Well, in order for us to get 1, let's see. What if I do -2 here and I put -3? -2 minus -3 is the same thing as -2 plus 3, which equals 1. So did Q need to be positive for this equation to give me 1 as an answer? No. So Q did not need to be positive. And that's what I was trying to say, and I couldn't explain it. Right? Find a way of the equations work without Q being positive. And if they work, then that's not your answer. Q times R equals 1. So does Q need to be positive here? Well, if R is -1, Q could be -1, right? So does Q need to be positive here in order for this equation to be true? No. Okay, so and hopefully what I'm saying makes a little sense. The last one, Q squared times R equals 1. So let's let's just assume that R is 1. R is 1. Well, if R is 1, can Q be negative? If Q was negative, would this still work? Well, -1 to the second power is -1 times -1, which is positive, right? So that would be 1 times 1, which equals 1. So did Q need to be positive here? It did not. So that, and that doesn't work. $75. All right. What do you have? Delivery service charges $25 per pound. Okay. If there's an additional sales tax of 8%, what is the cost of delivering an item that weighs 2/3 of a pound? So, let's see. Well, this won't be, let's see, 2/3 of 25, right? Times the tax. Well, let's find out what 2/3 of 25 is first. Well, 2/3 of 25. So if you do 2/3 of 25, you get 2 times 25, which is 50. 50 over 3 is the price of 2/3 of a pound. Now we have to pay taxes, right? So we're gonna multiply that by 1.08. And that's gonna give us our price with the tax. Okay. Now again, you could have done 50 over 3 times 0.08, which is the tax, find the tax, and then add it to 50 over 3. Okay, but there's something a little weird here. So let's just do that. Is there an easier way of doing this? 50 over 3, which is 2/3 of a pound, times 108 over 100. I'm just changing that to a decimal, to a fraction. Hopefully it can give me a better answer, 1 and 2. 108 is divisible by 3 because the sum of the digits is a multiple of 3. So 108 divided by 3 is 36. That's 1, 36. And then 36 divided by 12, 36 by 2 is 18. And 18 is none of the answers here. What is going on? 50 times 3, 50 over 3 times 108. Times 1.08. Yeah, no, it's correct. My math is good. None of these are correct. So it's 18. Okay. 75. Wow, a lot of mistakes here. 75, we're going to 80. So the perimeter so we want the sum of the perimeter of square 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. All right, so the figure about is the perimeter of the square ABCD is 16, which means this is 4, this is 4, this is 4, this is 4, which means this is 2, that's 2, that's 2, and that's 2, right? So the perimeter of each squared is 8, and 8 times 4 is 32 because there's 4 squares. Okay. 80, 84. Okay, in a sample of 60 ties at a clothing store, 8 were purple. So I'm just going to write this down. 8 were purple, 32 were stripes, okay, of the 8 purple, 5 has stripes, which means 3 don't have stripes, right? If a tie selected striped tie, striped. tie selected at random from the given sample. What is the probability that both of the following are true? The tie is not purple and does not have stripes. What? Alright, so I see what you mean. Let me make this a little smaller because I want to see the numbers. Yep, what's up, Oscar?
¿Tienes billetes de 20, de 50?
A ver, un momentito.
Este de 50 y de 20. ¿Se comer una chuleta?
Sí, voy a comer
¿Una o dos?
una.
Ok.
20. One second, please. Okay, so, and this is where I'm more of a person who needs to see. So hang on a second. Where am I? Instead of writing it like that, again, I can. There's 60 ties, right? We have the purple ones, and we have the striped ones. Okay, on the April 5 of the 8 purple, 5 has stripes, which means 3 don't. So the 3 that don't are only purple, and I'll put it over here. And the 5 that are stripes are purple and stripes, go over here. And then we also have 32 stripes. Well, there's another number that goes here. If 32 are stripes, we already have 5 that are stripes, which means this number is 27. We have a total of 60, right? So let me add them up. We have 27 plus 5 plus 3, 27 and 3 is 30, so it'll be 35. So if I subtract from 60, I'm going to have that 25 are nothing. Okay, so that's what I'm working with. Oh, much better. And again, now the question is, what's the probability that if you pick one, it's both of the following are true? It's not purple, the tie is not purple, which means here, and does not have stripes. So if it's not purple and does not have stripes, this means this guy right here, which is 25 out of 60, and we can simplify that, it's 5 over 12, and hopefully that's one of our answers. And it's not. What the heck? Sorry, guys. Am I reading the question wrong? What's the probability that both of the following true? The tie is not purple, so if it's not purple and does not have stripes, has to be this one. Let's see, 27, 3, 30, 35, 35 and 25. Let me make this a little bit smaller. And I can see the whole question. Eight purple stripe, 32. Hang on a second. Have the 8 or 5 as stripes, so that goes over here. 32. And 3 is 30. 25 out of 60. Why is this not working? Nine. Oh, that's because apparently I can't add. No, I can't add. No, these answers are incorrect. I stand by what I said. So the probability that we can select a one that's not, what do you call it, purple and does not have stripe is 25 out of 60 or 5 out of 12. Okay, so ignore those. There's 84, 85. A marker is chosen at random from a box. Oh my god, so I don't even know why I chose this. What's probability is blue? So we have 21 are black, 6 are red, and 9 are blue. The probability is blue is 9 out of what's the total here? 10, 16 goes 136, 9 out of 36. 1 out of 4. Sorry, yeah. Am I doing 21 black, 6 are red, 9 are blue. 9, 10, 16, carry 1, 36. 9 out of 36, divide that by 9, divide that by 9, and we get 4, 1/4. Can I not see anything? Again, please ignore this. The answer is 1/4. I'm not going to use capital anymore after this. There's too many mistakes. 85, 86. So weird. 1.25 gallons of paint at $20 per gallon. If there's a 6% sales tax, what is the total cost paid? So 1.25, you can multiply that by 20, right? Because that's the price per gallon. And then times 1.06 to give you the total, right? Because this is the total plus the tax. So let's find out what 1.25 times 20 is first. That's $25. And then multiply that by 1.06. And you get 26.50, which is F. Okay. 86, 88. Where's 88? On the number line above, oh, let me make this bigger, I apologize. On the number line above, RT is 2/3. Point S, so the distance between here and here is 2/3. So you can add it up. So I can go 3 and 5/12 plus 2/3. All right, so let's just add that. We get, what's that? Find the equivalent. Times 4, so that times 4. 8/12. So we got 3/512 plus 8/12 we can add. right? And we get 13 over 12, right? We can't have that, so 13 over 12, we can write that 13 over 12 as 12 over 12 plus 1 over 12. Now 12 over 12 is the same thing as 1. We can combine that with 1 and we get 4 and 1/12. So this is 4 and 1/12. Okay. I don't know if we need it, but point S is located between point R and point T. Which value below is a possible value for point S? Well, 3 and 1/12. Well, 1/12 is that value in between these two? No. Is this between these two? No, it's much lower, so that's not there. That's not there. 3 and 1/12 also. F and H is the same exact. So that's garbage and that's garbage. So the only one, 3.5, 3.5, right? That the only value that can be between 3 and 5/12 and 4 and 1/12 is 3.5. Okay. Now I didn't realize Kaplan was this bad. I'll make sure that if I use Kaplan again, they don't. The next one doesn't have this many mistakes. 89. So the weights of food, water, bedding, and emergency, right? Emergency. The items that he's bringing is in the ratio of 2 to 3 to 1 to 4. Okay? So let's find the total. It's always nice when we find the total. So the total here is 5 and 10. Now, that's the ratio, right? So if he's carrying 35 pounds of these items, oh, it's times 3.5, right? That's, so we're gonna do 3 times 3.5 times 3.5 times 3.5 times 3.5. So 2 times 3.5, that's 7. This is 3.5, that's 14, and this is 10.5. And the nice thing is, if you add these four, you have to get 35, which we do. So we want the value of the weight of the water. Water is 10.5, right? And there's our answer. 92. Circle above has a diameter of 6, okay? And just make that bigger. So if the diameter is 6, the radius is 3. An area of B, has a diameter of 6, an area of B square units. Well, we can find the area. And the circumference of C units. What is the value of B plus C? Well, all right, I see. So we need to find the area, and we need to find the circumference. Well, area is pi r squared, right? Area is pi, the radius is 3, so that's pi 9, or better yet, 9 pi. The circumference is C equals pi d, and C equals pi times the diameter, which is 6, or we're going to write that as 6 pi. Okay, and what is the value of B plus C? All right, well, if you add this and this, right, 9 pi plus 6 pi, which equals 15 pi, which theoretically you can't really add it because of different units, right? But I guess they want just the value of it, so I'm assuming that's okay. So they want you to add this, and obviously disregard the units, because one is in what is it, units squared, and the other one is in units. Okay. 94. One's practicing archery in a circle that has a radius of 18. The target's bullseye has a circumference of 18 pi inches. What is the area of the portion of the target that is not part of the, what is the area of the portion of the target that is not part of the bullseye? Alright, so I'm assuming there's the bullseye over here, and we want this area. Okay, so let's find the area of the big circle. Area of big circle. Area equals pi r squared. Area equals pi times 18 to the second power. The area equals 18 times 18, which is 324 pi. Alright, so that's the, let me just draw it again. That's the whole thing. Right? But they want, what happens if you take the bullseye? So pretending you have a donut, but you know, take it out. Now they don't give you the radius of this smaller, the bullseye, but they give you the circumference. So the circumference of that, circumference is what? Circumference is 18 pi. Now, circumference is 2 pi r, right? Or you can use circumference equals pi d. In this case, we want to find the area, so the radius. So let's use 2 pi r. So circumference equals 18 pi. We're gonna substitute circumference with 18 pi and then 2 pi r. We can divide both sides by pi, which literally gets us rid of this. And then r 18 equals 2r, or r divide both sides by 2. R equals 9. Now I have the radius, so I can put a little 9 over here. All right, so the radius of the smaller circle is 9. So again, A equals, yep, pi r squared. A equals pi times 9 to the second power. A equals 81 pi. Now if we subtract 324 minus 81, that should give us the area that we're looking for. So 324 minus 81, 243. So 243 pi square units is the area of, I guess, everything except the little circle in the middle.